when people say to me, I do not believe in dragons, in the beginning of my path, I said, but I saw dragons. I believe in dragons. I saw dragons. I dream about dragons. I can feel dragons. So why do you not believe? But in now I can see that for them, really it is that the dragon does not exist, that the dragon is not real. Because, my brothers and sisters, the dragon is a part of a different dimension, at least now. They are a part of a different dimension that is far away from this place. So it's normal that with the majority of people, the dragons do not have any connection with. But with you, they have. There are a few people they have a large connection with. And with this, my brothers and sisters, first of all, I want to say I am Team Heya and I'm a dragon witch. And as a dragon witch, sometimes I wear masks of a dragon to let myself be more like the dragon. Because inside of myself, I could feel something so much draconic that I cannot express. And sometimes I wear this mask to express the feelings that I have of all of the draconic energies that I could feel. With this, my brothers and sisters, I want to tell you a story that happened with me a few years ago. And it's a story that remained with me because, yeah, it was so strange. There is a devoted place somewhere further in this forest, devoted by Christians, Catholics. And it's really, in my eyes, that place disgusting, really disgusting. Not because it's Christian, but because it is expensive. It was made in a time when people were starving, and yet they made all of that money to that place. And that is why I thought it was disgusting. So I entered that place, wanted to make a video, but there was something all about this. Because I cannot make a video, because every time my smartphone went out, every single time when I wanted to make a video for you, my brothers and sisters, it died every single time. It also drained the energy of my phone completely. That was so strange to see that, but of course it could happen. So to say, I used my mask, my previous mask, my red mask, and put it on all of the images, like the angels, like Maria, like Jesus, every time, just to mock with it, because in my early days, the Catholics really raised me as a Catholic, and it made me so afraid of that God, made me really so afraid. It actually burned me, it scratched me inside of my spirit. And so to make a mockery out of it, a few years ago, I put up this mask on every single image that I could see in that forest. And of course, I made pictures of it. But with the last image that I made, in last time that I put it on an image, that face, the face of that image, it made me feel uncomfortable. Really, there was something inside of myself that made me feel so uncomfortable. So I went out of it, out of that place. And a day later, I could find my dragon mask completely in two. Out of nothing. Because what happened? I was so surprised, like, why is my mask in two? And that was my only mask that I had then. Of course, I have a new one, but it used to be a red one. And it was one day after that I did that, it was completely in two. What happened? My brothers and sisters, I might not be a Catholic, I might not be a Christian anymore, but it doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean that you need to mock with it, because it still has a lot of power. And out of all of the spiritual paths, this has so many people that are donating energy to that specific spiritual path. It's just the same as we do. We donate so much and so many energies to our dragons, and the dragons to us. But for me, for example, or for us, it can be that this spiritual path is folly, it's not true, and that is true. For you, it is nothing. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have power, because it's a different light. Just the same thing as a lot of people, the majority of people say, dragons do not exist. And for them, it is very much true that dragons do not exist, because that is in a different dimension that they cannot feel. Just the same thing that I tried so hard and so hard my best to feel that specific dimension, to feel that specific heaven, to feel whatever they are talking about. I was ready to go there, but that is not what we are. Our spirit belongs to a completely different light, a completely different gate. And for the majority of people, it can be that that is their light. And I'm still convinced that a lot of people are deceived because, like I said, I did so hard. I tried so hard my best to reach that light that I never will reach to. Because I do not belong there. I belong on a different realm, a different place. I was deceived by my family. And of course, that was due to me. I have a very strong will. So I dropped this and immediately I found my own spiritual path. I found my own light. And that is what we all should do. We should find our own light without being interrupted by people saying what kind of a light that we should have. But yeah, when I put on this mask on every single image that I could see, I wanted to pay a mockery because I thought it's not real. And for me, it is not real, but it doesn't mean that it has energy. When my grandmother deceased, it was the same thing. I did not want to enter that church because everything that is inside of that church, or maybe in that place here in the forest, it is donated to that specific kind of light. And once it's donated, it remains donated. So with my draconic light, I was entering something unfamiliar, an unfamiliar domain. And I even wanted to make a mockery out of that light where other people might find their light. I wanted to make a mockery, and that was my mistake. I should not do that. Even though I still have my ideas, my opinion about these religions, I have a very strong opinion, to be very honest. But I should not do that. I should not make a mockery out of something that is so powerful. Even though, lights clashes with each other. A lot of lights. I do not like, for example, the lights of Odin or Zeus or Yahweh or Allah. I do not like it. I do not like that light, specifically because we have a different light. And they can say the same thing about our dragons. They do not like the light of the dragon. It hurts inside of their eyes. It seems evil. And that is where the idea comes from, that dragons are evil. But that is not true. It's simply not their light to go to. And that is where we should all find our light by ourselves, undistracted, undisturbed by anyone else. Even animals, because people see down at animals, look at down at animals, even they have their own light to go to, but they are mostly undistracted. With us as humans, we are constantly distracted. We are constantly disturbed by other people because people, humans, in their kind, they're primates, and primates are very loud too against each other. But we should not be disturbed or distracted by it. We should just remain focused on where we should be, where our light is. So yeah, I was like, the first time that I saw my dragon mask into, I was like, how the hell? What the hell? What the fuck happened? Like, it was from one moment to another, and I immediately had this link because the previous action that I did with my mask was not wearing it, but making a mockery out of a different spiritual path. And you can say you should never do that. My brothers and sisters, I have autism. I have a form of autism. I have never been, they never said it to me, but I know that I have it. And whenever there is something that, made my life horrible, like being Catholic, finally I was freed from that. I was freed by my own will because I found my light. And every single time that I saw something like that, I was like sticking my tongue, like this. I showed it to that. I'm free from you. I will never belong to you. It's like that. And that is where it comes from, my brothers and sisters. You can say I have an agenda against religions, but it is simply that. Nothing else, nothing more than that. And I saw from my broken mask that I shouldn't do that. I should never do that. Not because I want to respect it, but because it can harm us. It can harm a draconic energy. Simply the same thing as the draconic energy can harm that. And that is why we remain separated from each other. We, as dragon witches, or dragon followers, or spirits of the dragon, should remain separated from whatever other spiritual path it can be. So there are thousands of different lights that I discovered inside of my draconic path. Thousands of lights that people can choose from where they have to go. Of course, it's not really a choice. They are born this way with that specific light. For people like us, we are born with a draconic light. The dragon lives inside of you. The dragon is constantly there. That is where your light is, and that is where you have to create your own light too. When people say you have to do something different, then you have to free yourself from that. And once you are free, you can completely aim towards the light that you are supposed to go. And in the beginning of your path, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple at all, like I'm going to that light. No. And for everyone, it's going to be a specific different kind of journey that you have to take. It's not one and the same thing, because that is very easy. The dragon's path in itself is not easy, but it feels like being home, always being home. And that was a great difference with whatever my family said, that you have to know. I was afraid of that God, like that God was going to hurt me. Like all of these saints, all of these humans, all of these... I didn't feel comfortable every single time. And the last time I entered the church, it was like I did not want to enter that. And I could not breathe once I was inside of that church, because everything inside of that church was donated to that light. And I didn't like it at all. And I was struggling breathing. It was not inside of my mind. It was not because I'm crazy or maybe autistic. No, it was physical. Physical, because later on when I put off my vest, my sister said immediately, "You're completely red. Like your throat is red. Everything is red." Because that is where I could feel that I could not breathe. I should have never entered it. Just the same thing that I should not enter that place. My brothers and sisters, with this, I just want to say, don't interfere with something that you don't understand. Stay with whatever is with you, whatever makes you feel comfortable. The dragon makes me feel comfortable all the time. Whenever I feel the dragon close, it feels like the dragon is my home. Everything that the dragon is close by, they are my saints. They are my spirits. They are my gods. And that is what I could feel inside of the deepest of my heart, the deepest of my soul. I feel at home whenever I could feel the dragon very close. And that is what it should be, my brothers and sisters. Sometimes I feel a bit bad whenever I see people going inside of the same building, worshipping the same thing, being a statue because they said it. You know, religion is power over humans. And whenever everyone has the same religion, then you have the power over them. But once you escape from it, and you have your own individual path to follow, like myself, then people might make a mockery out of that. People say, why? Because that's stupid, that's silly, because these people are all doing the same, but you are doing different. Inside of this life, you can have a lot of people that can say that is stupid, that is crazy, but in fact, it is not. It is them who cannot find their light. They don't know their light. From ever since childbirth, they heard the same. That is your light. You should follow that light. But that is not true. That is disturbance. That is distraction. A very deep distraction. And when you enter out of it, when you go out of it, that is pure freedom, my brothers and sisters. So I will never again go inside of it and make a mockery out of it. Not because I respect it, but because we should be separated from each other. We are dragon witches. We are dragons. My brothers and sisters,